worried about dying.
But Filch is so happy.
He's really, really creepy.
He's ecstatic.
I love how, while he's bringing him out there, he tells all of these over-romanticized stories to the kids about how they used to punish people, like hanging them up by chains. And he's like, yep, I keep them greased just in case. There's something wrong with that fucker.
I find it hilarious.
See, you're thinking of movie Filch. That's why it's funny to you.
In my head, yes, I am. I can't help it.
To me, going out to the forest with creepy-ass Filch talking about hanging you from your wrists is creepy. Especially because I listened to the audiobook, and that voice isn't, like, cheery and happy when he's saying it. He's, like, creepy.
Oh, yeah, it's fucking scary. And it makes for a weird moment in the book for me where I actually feel bad for Malfoy for just a second. Because we live in Michigan. We're used to the woods. We're used to being deep in the woods. It doesn't freak us out at all. For a kid like Malfoy, I'm guessing probably not the case. And the first time, like we just said, the first time they hear about the forest, if you go there, you're going to die. So he's freaking out enough to where his facade is off. And he's just an 11-year-old kid who's scared.
Yeah.
For a second. Still an asshole.
And Harry's loving every little bit of him squirming.
Hell yeah, he is. I wrote down in my notes, welcome to the woods, motherfucker.
Harry starts to relax when he hears Hagrid. And I can kind of relate to that. Because, like, if I were going out with some other people, I would be freaking out. But if I heard your voice, I would be like, okay, we might be okay. But like most people, I would be like, I'm not going in the creepy place with you.
But how lucky is it for Harry that his detention is going to be served with Hagrid?
Right.
He hears Hagrid's voice like, fuck yeah, it's going to be okay.
He hears the big, tough guy, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to be good.
I ponder how much of that was coincidence. Like, how's that supposed to be a real punishment then?
But still, it's the forest.
And it's a useful punishment, too. Hagrid doesn't see any point in writing lines. And he says that, but I think it's probably only because he can't read, so that wouldn't do him any good anyways.
Oh, that's valid.
I love the way that Malfoy's like, not going, and Hagrid's like, yep, you are. Or you can pack your shit and get out. It was a very sweet moment.
He's going to split the group up between him and a couple students, and then a couple students with Fang, and Malfoy's like, I want Fang right away. He doesn't miss a beat. And Hagrid calls him out too. He's like, all right, but he's a fucking coward.
I am a little surprised that they didn't have another teacher down there with them.
It's that weird Dumbledore trust thing.
I would imagine they probably didn't think Hagrid would have been stupid enough to split the kids up into a group by themselves, and they would have thought that he would have probably just made them stay with him the entire time.
One big group, like common sense tells you should, yeah.
But it's Hagrid. Like Dumbledore. Wow. This is going to be a long fucking podcast, guys. Like Dumbledore said, well, I would trust him with my life.
So Hagrid tells them before they take off, if you're in trouble, send up red sparks. If you find the unicorn, send up green sparks. Why in the world would it matter to send up two different colored sparks? You know, like, they found the unicorn, so let's walk. Or, the red sparks, so I need to run. Why wouldn't he just have them send up a spark?
No, that's a good point. Also, when did we learn spark shooting?
He had them practice it right before they split up.
Does he?
Yeah, he says, do this.
I missed it.
And then I'll practice real quick.
Which is actually super responsible of Hagrid, if you think about it. He's a nature lover. He loves animals. He's got a hut by the edge of the forest. You know, this is his territory. That's something Hagrid probably does know a lot about.
Hagrid has a crossbow, and he sends the other kids with the pussy-ass dog, apparently.
And tells them there's nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
That dude is heavily armed, and he's like, no, it'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
Then what do you have that for?
So they're looking for the unicorn. They're finding blood everywhere. Hagrid, he's explaining to the kids that he has no idea what it could be. There's nothing fast enough or nothing strong enough that should be able to kill a unicorn that he's known of ever.
Right. Harry's asking about a couple things, and Hagrid's like, no, I know about that shit. I said no. and they hear slithering over the leaves, which is creepy.
If it was heavy enough to hear, it must have been close. And something close in the pitch black of night, in the middle of the woods, is fucking scary, especially if it's big enough to hear. If a snake was big enough for you to hear it slither, that's a big snake.
Yeah.
And you can't see it. That was what I thought initially. And I was like, oh, they're all gonna die. Doesn't matter how big Hagrid is, a snake will get you in the ankle and you're done for, you know?
Especially one that's quicker than a werewolf, like whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't want to run into it.
Hell no.
The centaurs show up, and they're all real freaking weird.
Very intellectual.
Well, I mean, they say that they are, but they're also fucking weird.
Yeah.
They can be both.
Probably because it says they spend their time by themselves.
It's a very different picture of centaurs than you get from a story like The Odyssey, where they were gladiators, you know? They were warriors. These are not those guys. These are half man, half horse people who are really fucking smart, but even more so, they dabble in prophecy and reading the planets and the sky.
Ronan keeps saying Mars is bright tonight, and Hagrid has literally no time for that cryptic shit. He's like, nearer to home, maybe? Anything?
Oh, yeah.
I laugh out loud every time I read that part, because, like, yeah, Hagrid, get right to the point, bud.
He was having none of that. He's like, no, I need a solid, real answer here. Give me some kind of information that's useful.
And then Bane shows up, more of the Mars is bright shit, and Hagrid just gets super fed up. He's like, never try and get a straight answer out of a centaur. They're ruddy stargazers, and they're not interested in anything closer than the moon. And I love how, like, incensed he gets by by them being all like, ooh.
You get the feeling that Hagrid has dealt with these guys before and is just tired of their shit. Like, yeah, I get it. The moon. Did you see a guy this big, you know? Never getting any good answers out of them.
Then sparks. And Hagrid takes off run to find Malfoy and Neville because they're in danger. Come to find out,
Malfoy is just being a douche and pranking Neville out in the woods.
yeah, totally reminded me of Hunting with Nate. Neville he came up to Neville and scared the shit out of him. And Neville shot up the sparks, being scared. Hunting with Nate, taking Nate hunting. The first time I took him hunting, we're looking for the deer he shot. And he's about 10 yards behind me, and pitch dark, dead silent. Bam, bam, bam! Well, one shot.
It was one.
It was one shot,
not
but
three.
It scared the shit out of me.
I thought I saw blood, man. I got excited.
That was the unicorn.
I saw my unicorn, James.
Yeah, Malfoy being a douche.
Yeah, no, this is why it would have been prudent to bring another fucking adult out there with you, bud.
Or stay together.
Yeah, or stay together. Yeah, you don't just stay here with the mystery thing that's attacking the unicorns. You know no defensive spells? Yeah, good. All right. Stand here.
But they can shoot sparks.
Right.
Solid.
Right. Shoot those red sparks up if something happens while I'm gone.
Do you guys want to take a beer break?
Do you want to take a
Sounds good
beer
to me.
break?
I would love to take a beer break, Jade.
What are you drinking, Jade?
I'm drinking Passion Blaster by New Holland Brewing. It's a rose ale with passion fruit, raspberry, and apple flavors, and it is delicious.
I'm a sucker for raspberry, so anytime I see a new beer that has raspberry in it, I have to try.
I'm not.
James does not agree.
What about you, Shantell? What are you drinking?
Well, I am trying to stay on the lighter side, so I have a blueberry lemon Henry's hard sparkling water. 88 calories, 0 sugar. Good stuff.
Because when you're drinking, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Right.
I think I got you guys beat. I'm drinking again our favorite Founders KBS.
Your favorite.
Okay, my favorite. Yeah, I like this beer.
All right. Well, I think we're all going to get a refill and get back at it.
So, Hagrid is back with all the kids, and he decides that he's going to split off with Hermione and Neville and leave Harry and Malfoy with the dog, because, like, he can't scare you. I feel like there's, like, a million different configurations of these groups that he could have done in the first place, let alone right now. That would have been way better.
Or not split up in the first place.
Well, yeah. I'm just saying, if you have to, keep Malfoy with you. He's the troublemaker. Make Harry and Hermione together go away without you.
Right. You would figure that a kid like Malfoy would need supervision. Let's be real.
Right.
Plus, Hagrid, he's kind of pals with Harry. I think he trusts Harry.
Right. Those are obviously the two more trustworthy students. Let them go alone. I think it's probably because she's a girl, so she needs protection. Sexism.
I feel ya.
the way that Nate's shaking his head.
Written all over this chapter.
I'm going to decline to comment. I don't want to get too political here on the podcast.
Yeah, me too. It just spilled out. I'm sorry.
Anywho's, in editing, this is going to make me laugh later.
But yeah, I just think that I don't know why Hagrid didn't switch it up a little bit differently. Like, put Hermione and Malfoy out there by themselves. She knows some shit. She could fuck with him.
Lo and behold, Harry and Malfoy find the unicorn.
Yeah, it didn't
Dead.
take them too much longer after that.
No, and that's sad.
Poor thing. I mean, I did see it coming. There was a lot of blood.
I would be noping the fuck out of there. And that's why I'm a Hufflepuff and Harry is a Gryffindor. I decided that.
Now, on our episode where we all kind of figured out what house we belonged in and where we thought each other belonged, I was placed into Gryffindor. And this is why I'm going to say probably not, because I'm with Jade. If I saw this thing come creeping out of the woods, not creeping, crawling, spider-like, very nimbly, I wouldn't last a second, dude. I would be out.
Malfoy's out.
Malfoy, right the fuck out. He does not want any part of this at all.
How about the listeners? Does anybody out there think that they would not nope the fuck out? Harry's reaction is strange to me.
Like, okay, maybe you wouldn't run away, but to just watch this thing come out of the woods towards you, you couldn't not react to that.
They always say fight or flight. I think we missed one, and it's called freeze, because people, they freeze. They don't fight and they don't flight and run away, but they'll just freeze in terror. What do I
think
do?
she's
Oh
right.
shit.
Or fall.
Oh shit.
That would be
Dumbass.
me, actually. I would try to get away, but then I would fall.
It charges at Harry, and for the second time in the book, his scar starts to hurt again. Wouldn't he be inclined to believe it was Snape then? That was this weird thing? Because the only other time his scar has really hurt him is when he made direct eye contact with Snape. And it never really makes mention that he thinks of Snape after that happens, but that was the first thing I thought of.
It doesn't explain yet why his scar hurts.
because there's really